Good morning, everyone. Good afternoon, good evening, whatever time you're watching this. This is Good Morning Black People with Morgan Rees, and I'm your amazing and fantastic host, Morgan Rees. I have the amazing G Matic, the real G Matic. And after my intro, we're going to come right into him. He's a producer, a director of the Matic Book One, off of his own YouTube channel. He's also a creative artist and a graphic designer. So after my intro, we're going to come right in. We're going to jump right in. All right, you ready? Hello again. Welcome, everyone. Again, welcome my amazing, talented, humble guest, G Matic, also known as G, Marcus Clowney. Again, I'd like to welcome to my show. This is Good Morning Black with Morgan Rees, and I'm your amazing host, Morgan Rees. G, I am just so honored that you took out the time to join my show today. It's an amazing opportunity. You are such a talented guy. You had your hands in so many pots. So you're going to start talking to me. You're going to start listening to me. Tell everyone where you are from, who you are, and what you bring to the table tonight. Whatever time you're watching this.
Yeah, G Matic, Marcus Clowney. I'm from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. I moved to Charlotte, North Carolina. And I bring so much to the table. I don't know where to start. I mean, you're going to have to ask the questions because, you know.
Okay, so let's kick it off. Let's kick it off with this then. You are director of the YouTube channel Matic Book One.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about that?
It was I think about a year and a half. You know, I was always filming, but I wanted to really do my own movie. So what I did is I started with The Outsiders. Me and another one of my friends. We finished that last year. And this year I was able to finish Matic Book One. It's a whole movie. It was first a series, then I turned it into a movie, you know, so I could put it on other stuff like Tubi or Netflix or whatever. So, but yeah, I was interested in always doing my own movie. So, you know, I really get a kick out of that. I really get a kick out of that.
And what's the theme of your movie? What was the purpose of you putting it out? Because anyone could put something on camera. So what's the purpose of your movie? And what are you trying to gain as far as your audience?
My audience with that at that time was how it is growing up in the hood, what I seen. And I made it into a movie that wasn't, a lot of it was fictitious, you know, because you can't put the truth out. So, you know, you got to make a twist with it. So what I did is I put a twist with it. And the Matic was me, G Matic. That's where it came from, the Matic Book One. So it was like my book one of me, but in a different twist. You know what I mean? Just to show people like life is hard anywhere you go. You know, so so when I did that, it was more of an action, drama, what can I call it? Gangster. You know, it was a gangster movie.
Yeah, I watched it, so I seen a little bit of it.
You watched it, yeah. It's a lot of gangster in it. And you know, I just wanted to have some fun. I really wanted to have some fun with it. A lot of people love it. You know, they was like, man, all the stuff I see on Tubi, you really did good. You know, they said you did real good because you know, a lot of people mess up, you know. But it was my first one alone by myself. The first one, The Outsiders, was me and another friend of mine. So, but Matic Book One was my main one I did and filmed and produced and edited all myself. So, you know, it was a lot of work to that.
Okay. So I know that you are, I consider you as a spiritual advisor or a man with spiritual gifts and a visionary. So can you expand a little bit more on that and how you have impacted or allow that to grow and manifest to the point to where you at now. Because I watch you when you be giving us a lot of trinkets on social media, and I'm like, this man got some things in that brain and he need to get out. He want everybody to hear about it.
Oh yeah, definitely. Well, 2005, I had an aneurysm. I went to sleep and didn't wake up till the next day. Um, I wasn't waking up. I was back and forth in a coma, you know. So when they put me in the hospital, as much as I know, I wasn't supposed to make it. I had blood all the way in my brain. It was about 90% blood was everywhere. They didn't know until they did a CAT scan. From the CAT scan, they went from an MRI. And when I was in the hospital, they couldn't redo this. They couldn't do surgery within a month. And that was the scary part about it, because it took a month for the blood to, it kind of just, it's like a sponge. It'll just sink back in, you know what I mean? And then it comes out at every little hole they put. Every place they put, blood was coming out. So they had to drain it. They had to drain my brain. So, but it was serious. Through that point, before I had the surgery, I had an allergic reaction to some medicines. And with the medicine, because I wanted to go home. I had a month to get myself together before I could have the surgery, and I couldn't do nothing. My ex-wife, I was with her, so I said I was real stubborn and stubborn in the hospital, and I said I wanted to go home. So when I went home, I had an allergic reaction to the medicines. The medicines gave me Steven Johnson syndrome, so all my skin came off, and my skin burned for 7 days. Yeah. So within 7 days, I get right to the point. 7 days, I passed away, and I went to heaven. I went to a heaven. I go beyond it, calling it a heaven. I call it a place beyond here. And me leaving out of here, I was able to see the earth. I was able to see the universe. I was able to see what the stars were, and the tunnel they talked about, and the light, the real bright light that everybody see. And when I went through there, I was able to be in the heaven. I was flying in the heaven. I was able to fly with another creator that was just light. So what I learned, we all were, when we died, we turn into a light energy. A lot of people don't understand what light energy means. It means you leave your flesh and you become something that can go forever. Light can go forever. You know what I mean? It's like we become like a diamond, with the rainbow on the inside. You ever look at a diamond and you can see the rainbow on the inside? You be like, wow, how's a rainbow in something clear? Because that's what we are. We're like the whole part of being a diamond. You know what I mean? We're the whole point of being a rainbow. So, so when I saw that, it's a long story. I ain't want to take the whole time explain. I'm just going through pieces of pieces. Y'all gonna have to read the book. All right.
Give me what you can. Give me what you can.
Yeah, y'all gonna have to read the book. Y'all gonna have to
that
read
part.
the book. So yeah,
come down soon.
Yeah. So when I went and I got the information I needed and what was going on here on Earth when I came, because I didn't want to come back, and I said, why am I going back? And I learned that I had to come back for a reason of understanding. I came back here and everything that was prophesied to me in the heavens had happened, and it's happening now. And I've been telling people this since 2005. Everything that's been going on, I've already spoke this. I mean, churches everywhere, they already heard it.
And they probably looking at you like, oh, he crazy. He don't know what he talking about. He had that accident. This what happened. Those are the false believers or the people who are non-believers. And you're thinking like, look, I told you, I shared it with you. It's up to you what you do with it.
It's up to you what you do with it. But, I came back and I learned a lot from a lot of different people, and I respect all religions, you know what I'm saying? But I'm past a religion. I don't just claim as being a Christian or a Jew or Hindu, or I'm like all in one. You know what I mean? A lot of people don't know when Christ, when he was 12, he went to Egypt, and they don't put that part in the Bible. He went to Egypt, and from Egypt, he went to Tibet, and Tibet, he went to India. He learned Buddhism, he learned Hinduism, and he learned Egypt texts. He learned the old school texts. And a lot of people don't know from that time of him going back to Jerusalem, they don't never talk about that text. And to me, when I went, I was able to understand all of the religions and all the texts to make me the humble person I am now. Because when I just was, I did that. I tried to be just a Muslim. I tried to be just a Christian. I tried to be just a Hebrew Israelite. I tried everything. And and going through that process before I had my aneurysm, I always knew something was missing. So for me, leaving here and learning what was missing, the part for me that was missing is I needed all was one. And everybody is just taking a piece. They're only taking 10% of what the creator is. Everybody's just taking a piece. The creator is this. He's this. He's this. Our God is the main God. Our God is no. It's one creator of everything. You know what I mean? And people got to realize that. And that's my visionary is, is I learn how to speak truth and belief with any and everybody. When I speak truth and belief, it's the truth. I say you're going to make it. You're going to make it. Only way that you don't make it is if you don't want to make it. If you don't believe what I believe, then you're not going to make it. If I say you're going to be a millionaire by next year, if you can't believe it, I can't, that's my visionary. If you can't believe it, you're not going to get it.
It sounds like it's going to be a you problem because, again, I provided you that information. It's up to you. And that's what faith comes from. Like,
right.
We always say faith is the size of a mustard seed, or trust in the Lord with all your heart, which is my favorite scripture that's carried me all my life, and lean not to thine own understanding. That's all levels of faith. And for what you're saying is like, if they don't have that faith, how can they believe?
That's right.
How do you say there's a God, but then you don't believe there really is a God? But then when things happen, you say, well, God, why me? Oh, wait a minute. Oh, now you want to call my name? Now you want to ask for my help, but you didn't believe me before. Right. I was giving you the signs and the wonders. Mm-hmm.
Right. The creator created all of us, and he created everything that's around us. We just can't see it in the flesh that we're in now. If we could really see through the eyes of the creator, everything would look different around us at all times. We would see the way he see things, and it all would look the same. Our eyes been different situations, different things, different. You can look at a cup and it'll get bent different because this is what we think it is. Right. But that's because our eyes are set a certain way. Set a certain way as a human in flesh. And our flesh is always about, it's our flesh is really a sin. Everything about it is a sin. When you want to eat, if you diabetic, but you want an apple pie. if you married and you want 10 other wives, you know what I mean? If anything your flesh really want, is it good for you? Think about it. I mean, you could be a vegan, but then you could sit there and watch scary something you ain't supposed to be watching, or you could sit there. It's just little things, you know what I mean? You overweight, but then you're gonna sit there and eat a big hamburger. Your flesh. I mean, think about it. Your flesh wants. It's like at the end of the day, your flesh always wants more, something more. It's never satisfied. It's never satisfied, and that's life. And when you learn how your flesh is always satisfied, then you become to understand how to be humble. And that's why I learned the text all over, even the Hebrew, even the Hindu text or the Buddhist text, to learn how to meditate. You know what I mean? You learn from every religion, Christianity, Buddhism, Hinduism, Islam. No matter what religion, you are going to learn something that's going to help you if you let it help you. You know what I mean? And I don't down people. Some people could just like I tell people this all the time. You could be a Christian your whole life, and that's all you need. It's different for different people. Some people could be a Muslim, and that's all they need. Some people could be Buddhist, and that's all they need. But for me, I needed it all. I needed more because I believed more. I wanted to be close. I wanted to be next to the creator. I wanted to see, how did you create this? What is this about? What do I need to do to humble myself? Like, what do I need to know? I've been And I know the creator seen me go to all the different places. You know, he's watching me go from this religion to that religion. He knew what I was trying to find. And it's
And then you
crazy
had
that
that medical crisis
right.
that allowed you to actually for that brief moment in time to visit all those different places, which gave you more clarity.
Yeah, it gave me more clarity. So my
Mhm.
AVM, my aneurysm doesn't, it never affected. It used to affect me at the beginning, but it don't affect me as much now because I'm glad I was able to go through that to be where I am now. Because I would rather be where I am now than not ever understand through my life and still jumping religion to religion. And that's just me. I don't tell people they got to do what I'm doing. You know
Right.
what I mean? I'm just, I call it a Christ like. And my Christ like is like what Christ did. If you read the books, you can go back to the books of the gospel of the Holy 12. A lot, if you get the right text, it'll tell you what he did through the time before he was 33 or before he was 30, when he came back and went through the transition of the last 3 years. And it'll tell you he went from there to Egypt. Everybody knows the part of him going to Egypt to run away because they was going to kill the kids,
Right.
all the firstborn uh, 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 sons and all that. He went to Egypt, then he went to Tibet, and then he came down to India. A lot of people, and then back to Egypt, and then he went over, to Jerusalem. So a lot of people don't know that. You got to study it. When you study, you'll say, okay. People just think, oh, he just was just sitting somewhere all them years and just
No,
being
he
a
was working.
carpenter. Yeah, he was just working, being a carpenter, making tables.
Mhm.
Nah, it's a secret.
No. So
So,
going
so go
going
ahead.
through that experience,
Mm-hmm.
how long did it take for you to heal? How long did it take for you? Were you at a place where you had to relearn everything? Um, and then I know you have a beautiful, beautiful daughter. So
Mm-hmm.
how like where were the pieces of the puzzle that came together to where you are at right now?
This took me, I say, a good, probably about 7 years. 7 years after that. It
Number of
was a
completion.
process. Yeah, it was a process. I've been through a lot. My first 2 years, I had to get me back right. A lot of things wasn't right. It wasn't right. My mind wasn't right. I wasn't remembering things. I was, my words was coming out so bad that I can be saying something completely different than what I was trying to say. Because it's like having a stroke. So you really don't know, what you don't know where your mind is at. You know what I mean? You kind of off a little bit. So through the years, I got better and better, even in speech, like talking now. I can still lock up a little bit, but I can catch myself. Before I couldn't do that. I could lock up and then be locked up for a minute. You know what I mean? But now I have a lot in my mind, but sometimes my mind can't catch up with my mouth. It's like my flesh can't catch up to where my brain is, well, where my spirit is. My spirit feels like it's 10 times in front of my flesh. So I have to slow down when I'm communicating in certain conversations because what I want to say is too much for my speech to say. You know what I mean? And that's like now. Sometimes I got a lot right now, but sometimes my lips be like, okay, hold on, slow down so I can say this. It's like a computer. Or like the old typewriter we used to hit and you have to take your time with it. That's how I am right now. I'm like, I know what I want to say. It's a lot to say, but sometimes it'll.
Mm-hmm. We're having some technical difficulty on the other side. So we'll be, as soon as he comes back, we can continue this conversation. That means it's getting juicy. That means it's getting real juicy. He should be back shortly because now I'm interested. I hope you are. Wait for him to come back. We're having some technical difficulty. There we
Oh,
go.
hello.
Yeah, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yeah. Okay. Sorry. I don't know what, man.
That's how the energy be trying to shift up stuff when you gotta say something that needs to be heard.
Oh yeah, that's how it always happens. It's fine. Where I was just at, where was that?
About
as
things
we were,
that sometimes get to slow down because things are in your brain. You got so much.
yeah, I got so much in my brain that yeah, sometimes my speech can't catch up to my spirit. It just can't do it.
Wow.
But then I slow down to catch my, to catch up to my flesh, But on the
Mm-hmm.
visionary side, when I'm speaking to a person, I let go. My flesh let goes. Like if I'm doing a speech, if I'm speaking in front of a lot of people, my flesh let go and let my spirit talk. And it's like I'm not even talking. It's like my spirit is just talking. And it
Mm-hmm.
goes in the areas that it needs to get into. And that's beautiful. It's really beautiful.
Wow.
Yeah.
It sounded like you had an amazing, amazing experience and you had a positive outlook on it. Where some people who would have went through that, they either would have still been holding on to that trauma or still hold on to that experience and trying to figure out, well, why did this happen to me, or why God you let this happen, or whoever their believer is, you took and saw the positive side of it. I said, okay, I don't want this an unusual, because that is an unusual type of experience where here you are in 2023 of July 26th, you
Yeah.
moving and you're flowing and you still have the full limbs of your body, the whole nine, after having such a traumatic experience. And then on top of
Yeah.
that, going through the realm outside of earth, all the way up to where you were seeing things that a lot of us pray to see, we're waiting to see. And for our ancestors, the people who
Right.
have already passed on, some of them have that ability. So to see that in you, what different perspective or outlook of life did it give you to say, okay, I'm gonna stick to this pot, I'm gonna stick to this plan, because you're doing it, you've obviously been doing this for a long time, sharing the
Mm-hmm.
visions,
Mm-hmm.
spreading the word. So what
Mm-hmm.
keeps you motivated to continue to do this no matter what people say? Or because you got a lot of naysayers, you got a lot of haters, or people
Yeah.
who say, he's still a little, whatever. You don't know what he's talking about. What
Right.
motivates you to keep you going on that path?
What keeps me because I went there, because I believe it 100%. I know I was there. There's nothing somebody can change my mind about when it comes down to where you go when you leave here. It's all scientifically and spiritually correct. Everything, everything I encountered that's what it is. It's spiritually and scientifically correct, either which way you look at it. So, and then
Mm.
I always told anybody, I said we could do a lie detector test. So I've always told that to people, anytime, any place, I guarantee I pass it 100%.
So
And that's what
how do
had
you
people.
how do you
Mhm.
talk to the people that don't believe?
Um, I explained that to them. I said, if you don't believe, let's go get pay for a lie detector test, and I'll do it. And it really got them like, man, what I mean? They start thinking like, okay, this guy is serious, because I don't want to waste my money. There's no way somebody going to want to do something like that if they're not 100% of what they're speaking, what they're talking about. So, and that's my thing. Oh no, they say, oh, nobody can go to heaven and come back. Yes, I did. Yes, I did. I did that. So I don't. That a lot of the beliefs I don't believe, because don't speak something that can't happen. The creator can do what the creator wants to do. We can't stop him from saying, no, this can't happen. The creator didn't say it can't happen. We said it. A lot of man has wrote a lot of text the way they felt like it should be, not how it
Mm.
really can happen. See what I'm saying? So
Mm.
that's I'm not gonna go too far on that. But you always remember, anything's possible.
Everything is possible. That's what I say.
Right. Yeah, everything is
So
possible.
you got
Yeah.
your anything. I say anything and everything is possible.
Anything and everything. Yeah,
There's no such
anything.
thing as I can't. That's what I used to say in school.
Right.
The teachers used to say, don't say you can't read, or don't say you can't write, or don't say you can't do this math.
Right.
Um, just try harder. And if you can't, if you try harder and you still are not successful in completing it, that's because you're
Mm-hmm.
not putting all that energy in to fulfilling what you wanted to fulfill. So if you want to get that A on that math test and you're not putting all that hard work into it, then you're going to get whatever grade you're going to get.
That's right.
And then it's up to you what you do with it.
That's right. That's right. The doctor said I was going to be paralyzed. I was going to be deaf. I wasn't going to be able to do nothing. I wasn't going to be able to walk again. I wasn't supposed to be able to see again, you know, because the medicine cut my retina when I had the Steven Johnson syndrome. All my skin came off. They said I was just, you know, I was going to just be a paralyzed person. I was going to be a vegetable the rest of my life. I wasn't supposed to do anything I can do now. I couldn't read when I came out. I couldn't write when I came out. I couldn't do nothing. And I had to learn how to read again, learn how to write again, learn how to walk again. I had to strengthen my whole body to make me who I am now. None of this was easy. I mean, me coming out, I was really a paralyzed person. And I don't have no cane. I don't, you know, I can drive my car. I can do anything. I do anything like everybody else. All because I believed I could. What I saw, I knew the flesh was repairable. What I saw, I knew the flesh was repairable. Let's say that again. See what I'm saying? Your spirit can repair your body in any type way, even through sickness, disease, through anything. Your spirit can repair it if you let it happen. If you believe that it can happen wholeheartedly, not by somebody else. Believe that the Creator give you the ability. Like I said, like the Creator gives you the ability to believe in the Creator. I say the Creator because the Creator is everything, to strengthen or heal or do anything, make your own body happy, get out of depression, get out of stress. Everything can go away just like that. I had a lot of people don't know this. A lot of people don't know this. I was younger and I had bipolar disorder, and it changed completely where it disappeared. It disappeared, period. Not the same person, you know. And it's amazing that because I believed it, it went away. All of the things that I had as a problem went away. Now everybody still fights with their little demons, I say, you know what I mean? But I became a so much better person now than I was before. You know what I mean? It took time. You know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. It took time, and it made me a stronger person, a wiser person, where I can be near somebody and I can tell if they lying, if they telling the truth, if they depressed, if they stressed, because I've been through so many angles, I've been through so many situations that I can see it. I can see through somebody when they having their own problems, their own issues. And all I do is help. I don't try to hurt. A lot of people can see people's downfalls and they want to hurt them instead of helping them.
So you are a true testament of a miracle. Think about it.
Oh yeah.
You're one of the miracles that we read about in the Bible all the time. If you whatever church you go to or whatever religion you're a part of, you are an example of a miracle, of a full-blown live miracle. And and you're at the place where he says, because I saved you, I helped you. Now you got to share my story. You got to tell. Because if you don't share my story, just as quick as he healed you, you can go right back to the same situation.
Same situation. Yep.
And then you'll be wondering, wait a minute, hold on. How did I get back here? Because you didn't share the story. You didn't share the journey. Because that's how you can't have a testimony if you've never been through no test.
That's right. That's right. I knew I was supposed to do more, and because of how hard it took me to get to where I'm at now, how hard it's still taking me to get my book done. Like every situation, it's like 10 times harder than anything I'm doing. I can make a movie. I can have a restaurant. I can do this. I can do that. But when it came down to when it comes down to me writing the book of what happened, it's the hardest task to get done because it's going to help and heal so many people of all the things that's going to be inside of this. You know what I mean? And I try to explain that to people. I say, if it's easy, It's not that hard. But when it's hard, that's the test. That's what really is. That's what people really need. You know what I mean? It's just like a Bible. When they got it, if it wasn't no Bible, people wouldn't know no Christianity. They wouldn't know, you know, if they didn't have the Torah, you know, they wouldn't know the 5 books of the Bible. You know, if you didn't know Islam, if you ain't had a Quran, they wouldn't know Islam. You know, nobody would know nothing without no text. You know,
and I look at it like this: when, like, you know, like rich people say, "Oh, I got this problem, I got that problem," but you got money to fix your problem. So you can't say you don't know what a poor person has been through because you never lived in the hood. You may have driven through the hood. You may have you know, heard about the stories of the hood. But if you were, as they say, born with a silver spoon in your mouth, or you've always lived a most middle class or modest life of life, then you can't say, "Oh, you wouldn't be, oh, you can pull yourself out of there." You don't know that, so you can't even use that as to say, "Well, you've been through this and you've been through that." I've been through this, but you got money. You didn't really have no real test of struggle of life. You didn't have no real test of being down and out. And say, now I got a negative bank account, and now I got $1 million in my account. You know, and or I've lived from paycheck to paycheck, and now I can go to the restaurant, I can go to the store, I can buy this, and I don't have to ask the question, how much is it again? So they can't say that's a test. That's a test. That's part of the testimony. If you haven't been through any trials or tribulations, you cannot say, "Oh, this is I had this issue had," or if you were a survivor of molestation, or if you were a survivor of child abuse, you cannot say that I went through those things but I didn't go through those things. You know, that makes sense. Well, I wasn't a victim of that, but I had family that supported me. So you don't know how survival that was. Survival is when you don't have none of those tools, and you had to struggle and survive through that by yourself. Think about it. By yourself.
And then sometimes you wonder why. Why did I have to go through this by myself? You feel like, why didn't I have the support of all these people that was around me? Why didn't people believe me? Why didn't they trust me? Why didn't people help me? And at the end of the day, it's because Morgan Rees wouldn't be Morgan Rees if Morgan Rees didn't go through it herself.
I threw my information up in there. I see how you did that. I see how you tag team me on that one. I see how you tag team. Okay. You get high five on that, G.
Yeah, there we go.
I see you get high five on that one. Wow. So what new adventures? What new ventures on right now? What new? Because I know that brain. You said that brain is moving, and every time I talk to you, every time we interact, you always have a new gift or a new thing that you want to share. What do you have going on now? Because I have a slogan this year. 2023 is all about me.
Well, right now, a new thing. Right now is my visionary speaking engagements. I want to do a lot of engagements of what happened, what I've been through, and to bring the speech. I want it to be where people can. It's kind of like a spiritual thing where we can all speak positive. I want to be able to speak positive to a lot of people so they can really walk out of there and feel encouraged and know that they're going to make it that year. If it's financial, if it's getting out of stress, getting out of depression, getting out of cancer, if it's getting out of AIDS, if it's getting out of any situation that they're in, I want to encounter and I want to really help their spirit really rise back out of their flesh and not let their flesh keep running their spirit. You see what I'm saying? So that's I want to get that done, and that's going to get done this year. I also got a movie coming up. It's like it's going to be episodes. Next month. I can't really talk too much about it. I'm not allowed to.
Well, just give us
but
a little.
It's going to be real. It's going to be real big. It's going to be real big. All I can tell you is is if everything go right, BET will be involved in it. So it's gonna be real nice. So that right there is gonna be a good thing. You know, once I get everything done, let's I believe that it's gonna happen. You know, because it's
Manifestation.
not. Yeah, it's not me. It's a lot of people in the pot. So I know it's gonna happen. It's just gonna take some time. But I don't, I can't really put too much on until we, put it out there. So them two things is my main, objectives. I want to finish. Hopefully I can get on a radio station every Saturday with my boy Tone X. I want to be his co-host. I didn't ask him yet, but I'm gonna ask him and see if not,
In
it's
the atmosphere now. If he watching this,
yeah,
he
it's in the atmosphere now. Yeah, it's in the atmosphere now. I really would love to. He's a good guy. Tone X is a good guy. I work with him every Saturday. I do his videos and I film at the radio station at Raw 704. So I do that. But I want to also I can film and be a co-host at the same time. That's how good I am. I'm really good when it comes down to camera and editing. So, we can do that.
I had him on my show, so I definitely would not. I would love to watch that dynamic duo between you and him. Oh man.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I definitely love talking to him. I like being next to him. He got good energy. His energy is real high. And sometimes that's what you need around you all the time. You need high energy and good people, good energy around you. I really cut off a lot of the negative people that you could have been friends with your whole life, but sometimes you got to cut them off. I had to, because to go forward, you have to cut off a lot of people that it might even be family. It might even be family. I'm sorry, but
sometimes God removes them on purpose just so he can take you to the next level. Sometimes it does it on purpose, because if he's trying to take you to this level, and nothing against them, no shade against them, and they may be here, and he's trying to say, well, I needed you to go here. So since they're still down here, or they may not think the way you think. So he said, well, you know what? But all of a sudden you look around, you're like, well, I don't talk to him anymore. You don't have that same spirit. Well, let me call him or let me text him, and this is that. And sometimes that could be him removing them, or disassociating or separating you, so you guys can get to the next level. Because if he wants you here and that person is still here, then it's like, well, because they're family or friends and you have that heart for them and you have that love for them, you're like, well, no, I want them to come with me. And God said, no, they can't go the same place I'm taking you. They can't walk through that same door. So it's like going through a narrow door, right? And two people try to go through a narrow door, it ain't gonna work, right? Unless you got a wide door. But if it's a narrow door, somebody's tossing and turning, and you move out the way. No, you move out the way, and y'all always want, and whoever makes it through first is the person that can move forward, because it's their season, it's their time.
That's right. What I've noticed a lot of them, the negativity or the unbelief. If they can't believe for themselves, they can't believe
for you. They can't believe for you. Or even if they believe it, they ain't gonna say it out loud. Oh, look at him. He doing this. Look at her. Oh, she thinks she better than. Oh, he think he better than. I remember when they were here, and now look at them now. But yes, you remember once upon a time that was the story. That was the chapter in that season at that time. But now when you're in a new chapter and a new season, it's like time to turn the page.
Right. And this season now, Morgan, what I've noticed is it's just like me and you. We both. This was the season to turn the page. It's either you coming or you're not. If you're not coming with me, no hard feelings. It's fine. But where I'm going, it's at a high level, situation. It's at a very high level situation, and what we can't have is no negativity. We can't have no unbelief. We can't have no hurtfulness. We can't hear no drama. We don't want the negativity. We don't want that, because what happens is it brings us down to the level that we already passed. You see what I'm saying? We're not on them levels no more. So being happy. Well, I like talking to you is because you're always happy. You like me. We're happy. And if we're not happy, if somebody takes us there, they're taking us to a level that we already left.
And don't want to open that door no more. So
Nobody, you don't want
if you
to.
can't accept that, if you can't accept the happy side of me, then that
That's
means
right.
you can't accept me. And that's
That's
nothing
right.
against you. That's nothing against you. That's a you problem. There's never going to
Right.
be a me problem.
Right. That's right. That's right.
Because obviously, if I got to this point where I'm able to be happy
Mm-hmm.
and be at peace with my new journey,
Mm-hmm.
then that's a good thing. Because before it was the tears and the boo-hoos and the woe
Right.
is me and
We
why is
don't
that?
want that. That's
We
the
don't want
old
that no
Lord.
more. Because
Yeah, that's the
that's
old
that
Lord.
negative energy.
Right. Right.
Mm.
And so when that negative energy is gone, you know, they say when you smile, it puts more years on your life.
Mm.
A lot of people don't know that. So if you don't want to smile, you don't want more years on your life.
That part.
And you start telling people that, they'll be like, oh, wait a minute. You know what I mean? They start thinking about like, I need to smile some more too. Because that's another 10 years I can add on just by being happy.
That part.
You know?
That part.
Yeah.
Because and Lord's willing, and on September 7th, 2023, I'll be 50 years old. And I tell people this now, and they're like, girl, you don't even look like you're that old.
You
I'm
look
like,
younger than that. You ain't
this
nothing
is what
but
God's grace
grand.
looks like. I got 3 adult children, 32, 30, and 26, and 3 grandkids, 9, 8, and 3. So it's like, you got to talk to the man upstairs. I ain't got nothing to do with this.
Yep.
He just using me as a vessel. So if anyone need to follow you, how can they follow you?
Man, they can follow me on Instagram. You can follow me on 13MOL _ G _ Matic. And that and you can also follow me on Instagram at the Real G Matic. YouTube, you could go to Matic Book One. One as in ONE. So Book Matic, MATIC, Book BOOK 1 ONE. That's it. My Facebook, it's Lewis Clowney. I don't open it to everybody because I don't know who it is. You know, if I start following you on Instagram and YouTube, then I'll open it up because I know who you are. My YouTube is always personal. You know, you want to make sure they no scammer because a lot of them scam and mess your whole page up. You know, so but it's Lewis, the Real G Matic Clowney. And that's easy on Facebook. If I open it up, hey, fine. If I don't, that means I got to see who you are. I got to see more about you to understand, you know.
You got to do your research. As I said, you got to do your research.
Right. In the Matic Book One, you can see a lot of different things. You can hear more about my transition to heaven. You can see the movies. You know, I had gangster movies on there. You could kind of see different things that I've been doing. But you're going to see a lot of the inspirational things that I'm transitioning over with the vision with my visionary speaking. That is the big thing that's coming up. You know, people are really going to be able to see me and what happened. You know, people been wanting it. And I said, okay, let me put it out there. Let me get it out there. Let me get me some speaking engagements. And so people can really hear exactly what happened and what went down. So.
You and I on the same page, brother. You and I on the same page. I promise you.
I know. We're going to do it together. Trust me. I got something for you. We're going to do it together. We're going to do something together. We got a lot to talk about.
Teamwork make the dream work.
That's right. That's right.
So if you had one thing that you want to share with the world to inspire them, to lift them higher, to give them more confidence, to let them know, look at me, look at where I came from to where I'm at now. What would you like to share with anyone who's listening right now?
I would tell them right now. I'm telling y'all, look at the camera right now. I'm telling y'all right now. This is what it is. Always believe it is true that we leave out of here and we become something that lives forever in a way that's unbelievable, but it's the best feeling in the world because I didn't want to come back. Everything that's going on in the world is just to turn your mind away from the beautiness of who we really are. Don't think about the stuff here. All at the money, your flesh, your vehicles, your house, everything, nothing is going to go with you. Only thing that's leaving this earth is your spirit. And your spirit is beautiful. It's wonderful. It's joyful. It's loving. You know, everything about it. When you think real positive, think about when something real positive happened, how your body feels. You get that that little tingling through your whole body. Like, ooh, think if you won $1 million, you'd be like, oh, that feeling is all the time. It never leaves, because that's that good feeling. That's that good part of your spirit that you would want to have at all times. It never goes away. So stop worrying. Stop worrying. If you stress, stop worrying. If you're depressed, stop worrying. If you went through some tragic, situations through your life, sit back and meditate and think, I'm going to get past this situation. I'm going to go beyond the situation. I'm going to be able to move on and become what I always wanted to become. You know what I mean? Don't give up. Don't give up. And always love yourself. Love yourself first before you love anybody else. And you heard it from G Matic. Yeah.
Man. I'm gonna have to end it right there, because you look, nothing else needs to be said. You said a mouthful right there, from your lips to everyone's ears, along with God.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
I promise you, from your lips to God's ears. Well, guys, I appreciate y'all for joining my show. Again, please go check out my man, the Real G Matic. When I tell you this man has a gift, this man was able to cross over to the other side, and he didn't even know it was happening. This man has been through some things, and he's not a victim. He's a survivor. He's a warrior. He's a fighter. And look at him now in 2023. So he's a true testament of you can overcome. And as I say, 2023 is all about me. 2023 is all about G Matic and G Matic's ideas, G Matic's gifts, and G Matic's future projects that are coming to fruition now. For the immediate future, not the late future, but for the immediate future. I'd like to thank you again, G, for joining my show. I appreciate it, for taking out the time out of your busy schedule to
welcome.
Sit with me. It was an amazing and humbling experience. Guys, I thank you again for watching my show. This is Good Morning Black with Morgan Rees. I'm your amazing, fantastic host, Morgan Rees. I would like for everyone to have a wonderful Wednesday. It's hump day. We got 2 more days. We're running to the weekend. Please, everywhere in the world, stay cool. Please stay cool. Please stay hydrated. This heat is real. If it says it's 100 degrees outside, unless you work outside or you have to go outside, stay in and stay cool. Thank you again, everyone, for joining and watching my show. Be blessed.